We thought, okay, what about if you could create the perfect class? What would that actually look and feel like? What kind of music would it have? Would it have equipment, no equipment? You know, what would the room be like? And a whole bunch of stuff. And if you got it right one day, how do you keep making that fresh? Now, the challenge for us was that most customers that we were dealing with, which were fitness clubs around the world, already had that in their clubs. They were doing some of this themselves. So how do you sell somebody something they've already got? And it's invisible. So it was a real challenge to sort of go from the concept over here and then try and create a business proposition out of it. But good old Kiwi sort of never give up pioneering attitude. We thought, we're going to crack this one, and let's go and get the Australians first. True story. So I just want to flip you through the product range of what our company is, just so you can get the context of where I'm coming from. We design 8 fitness programs that are delivered in a group environment to music. And they cover basically all the main activities that we think most people would want to consider doing when they go to a club. So the first one is what we call barbell training to music, weight training to music. Now, as we flip through these next few slides, on the left-hand side is what the program category image was like when we arrived, and on the right, on your right-hand side is where we're at with it now. So barbell training, as you can see, there's no barbell on the left. It's this piddly little thing that doesn't really do much. It was kind of toning, it was soft, it was pussies. And get over here. This is the real stuff, okay? There's Les Mills. A little bit of grunt, a little bit of results. It's edgy, it's raw, it's in your face. You know, it's going to challenge you mentally and physically, but by God, you'll get a result out of it. Martial fitness, been around for thousands of years, you know. People do taekwondo, karate, kickboxing. In our industry, a guy named Billy Blanks from the States started this program called Taibo, which was essentially kickboxing to music, and it was huge. This guy made $70 million just on home videos. We thought, we want a bit of that. Funny enough, Billy was like a gold medalist at about 25 different things until they actually researched and he had no credentials whatsoever, but he looked bloody good on tape. Unfortunately, a lot of things he was doing were quite unsafe and people started getting injured. So we decided to keep it sexy, keep it cool, but make it safe and get a lot of women involved. And the whole essence of this program is about unleashing. So we're trying to empower a lot of our members that come in, and a lot of them are females. And tell you what, after a body combat class, they can kick the crap out of you. Mind body, yoga, huge boom. Thanks to Madonna, it got a lot bigger for us as well. When Madonna started doing yoga, everybody wanted to do it. The challenge in the industry is trying to find great yoga teachers, and I've been told that it takes about 8 years to train to be a really good yoga teacher. Most clubs haven't got 8 years to wait. They need something now. So we come up with something that was a blend of Tai Chi, yoga, and Pilates, put it together and called it Body Balance. Step aerobics, probably the most common thing known outside of aerobics, which is without the step. Got a little bit daggy, a little bit sort of old bread sort of thing. Matt was one of the best body step teachers in the world. The guy used to have the biggest thighs I'd ever seen in Australia. He was doing plyometrics, he was about 10 feet off the step, it was incredible. Matt and his team were responsible for taking step right through Australia and up into Asia back in the late 80s. So, well done, mate. As I say, the product got a bit tired, so we thought we wanted to keep it going. I'm not getting paid anyway. So anyway, we carried on, and it's still a really busy class, particularly with our mums that want to get back in shape straight after pregnancy. Body Attack, this was basically the good old aerobics. Names like Jazzercise, Jazzergetics, Jane Fonda, that's where it originated. Then it went from that to what we call high-low, which is a mixture of sort of star jumps and then nice and easy. And then they started putting some dance moves into it, and that's where they lost a lot of people. We kept the idea going with what we call Body Attack and just kept it sort of straight and simple with sports conditioning. And amazingly, after 20 years, this product is just still selling like crazy. Indoor cycling, a guy named Johnny G out of California got on a bike to prepare himself for a across the Americas road race. So he sat in his garage for anywhere between 2 and 12 hours a day, spinning on this purpose-built bike to music. And obviously after a few hours of doing that in a few days and weeks, he thought, hey, this is pretty cool. And all of a sudden there was this huge explosion of indoor cycling. This is back in the mid-80s. Unfortunately, like anything that's not controlled, people started doing weird stuff on bikes, like taking the seat out. You ever thought about riding a bike with no seat for an hour? Or maybe spinning so fast that you can't even see the pedals? So we sort of started seeing a lot of dangerous stuff happening. We wanted to keep it alive, so we straightened it out, made it safe, made it structured, and we call it RPM, Raw Power in Motion. Dance. Dance is the big thing. If you're not a dancer, you know that it's huge because it's all over TV. Massive. Well, in the club industry, it's the same. Problem being with dance is that, one, you need a great teacher, and then two, you need movements that most people can do. So we knew there were a lot of people out there that could dance really well, and they had some type of a following, small tribes. But there were a lot of people that were watching that couldn't do it. So we designed a program that the spectators can do. Kept it funky, kept it groovy, kept it fresh, and Body Jam is one of our fastest growing programs right now. Last but not least, a new category for us. Basically, it's the baby boomers and people that are deconditioned or new to fitness. In the past, there really wasn't much in health clubs for people in those categories. So we came up with something called Body Vive, and it's a mixture of heart fitness, functional strength and training, and flexibility, and it really caters for that whole new market that's huge in a lot of countries. So a new category for us, and we're now sort of up around 2,000 clubs around the world. So that's just a quick snapshot of what we actually do, in case you're thinking, I don't know anything about fitness and I've never been to a health club. You're excused. It wasn't always like that. 20, 30 years ago, this is what you would see in some health clubs, particularly here in Sydney. It was a cottage industry. The businesses were really small. The quality was all over the place. There weren't really much in the way of standards. It was people who were keen on fitness and decided that they would open up a gym on the corner. And mum and dad would be on reception, cleaning the toilets, doing the weights. It was really just such a small industry. And unfortunately, that was tough on the consumers because they weren't really getting the experience that they deserved. And within the clubs, there were basically three things you could do. Three things. You could do some weight training. You could do some cardiovascular, which might have been like on a treadmill or some sort of stationary bike, and you might have been able to do some aerobics classes. In the aerobics class area, the quality levels were like this. You had one or two what we call rock star people, and you had a lot of people that, I'm sorry, they were woeful. Really, the classes were terrible. But people were going because it was the trend at the time. And so things sort of went well for a while, and then sure enough, like anything else, once the customer gets tired, they tell a lot of people, and numbers started really spiralling down fast. Meanwhile, all the socio-economic factors in every country in the world were saying, hey, there should be more people in health clubs. Why are the classes empty? Now, the trend through the 80s and leading into the 90s in aerobics was driven by the prima donna instructors. And I want to throw out a little controversial analogy here, because in a way, thought leaders are kind of like the prima donnas of thinking. And here's the catch. If you're at the top of your industry in what you're doing, as a thought leader or a top exercise person, you've got a big following, you need to be careful that you lead the consumers in the right direction. Because what happened in our industry is that the top people took us the wrong way. They said, let's do more complexity and let's have more soft options. So what happened? No one could do the class and no one got a result. Numbers spiraled so far down they nearly hit the bottom. While this is all going on, there's a group of us back in New Zealand going, this is really weird. You know, what's happening? And we didn't believe it. We thought, no, keep the choreography simple so people can do it. And, you know, let's sort of quietly, or maybe not so quietly, tell people to bloody harden up. You know, you come to the gym, you pay your money, you want a result, let's go. It's going to be a little bit sore. But that's okay. Let's redefine what pain is. Maybe through time, or let's try and distract you. But whatever we do, let's make a deal, you know, you the customer, me the instructor, we are going to get you a result for you. And I'm going to help you, I'm going to coach you, or maybe I'm even going to mentor you, whatever, we're going to get you across the finish line. So the Kiwis had a much more direct approach.